You arrive gently, as if you have always been here. You float on your back in a wide, quiet dark, held by something soft and unseen. Above you, stars move slowly, unhurried, like lanterns drifting across deep water. Below you, there is nothing to fear, only support. Your breath slows without instruction. Your shoulders release their long-held weight. The universe does not rush you. You notice how space feels less like emptiness and more like a calm ocean at night. Still on the surface, deep underneath. A place where nothing needs to be solved before you can rest. You breathe in and the air feels warm. You breathe out and the darkness feels friendly. There is a quiet hum here, almost imaginary, like the sound of distant water moving far below. It reminds you of floating in a lake, ears half submerged, hearing the world soften. The stars shimmer faintly, not flickering, just breathing with you. You sense motion, though nothing appears to move quickly. Galaxies drift. Light glides. Time stretches out like a slow exhale. Somewhere beneath all of this, something subtle is happening. Not loud, not dramatic, just present. Scientists give it a careful name, but you don't need the name yet. For now, it feels like a current, a deep one, the kind that moves the surface without disturbing it. You let that idea pass through you gently, like a thought that doesn't need an answer before sleep. Space, you realize, is not rigid. It is not locked in place. It is flexible, yielding, quietly responsive. You float there, noticing how nothing presses against you. No sharp edges. No hard questions. Only the sense that the universe is expanding in its own slow rhythm, like breathing in the dark. You smile slightly at the thought. The universe, breathing, feels oddly relatable. You remember moments when you didn't have to understand something for it to feel real. Warmth on your skin, water holding your weight, night sounds blending into calm. This is like that. The idea of dark energy enters your awareness the same way sleep does. Not suddenly, not forcefully. It simply appears when you stop resisting rest. You are not asked to define it. You are not asked to measure it. You are only invited to notice its presence, like noticing the tide without counting waves. Dark energy does not feel dark here. Feels deep, feels patient. It feels old in a comforting way, like something that has always known how to hold things together. You breathe again, slow, easy. Somewhere far away, light begins its long journey toward you. It does not hurry. It has learned patience from the universe itself. As it travels, it stretches slightly, the way reflections stretch across moving water. Not breaking, just changing shape. This stretching tells a quiet story. A story about space gently opening. About distance growing without violence. About motion without force. You listen without effort. The thought arises that maybe the universe is not expanding away from you, but with you, like water rising around a floating body, evenly, calmly, everywhere at once. That thought feels kind. You keep it. Your breathing finds a steady rhythm now. In. Each breath feels synchronized with something larger, though you can't quite say what. You don't need to. You notice how comfortable it is to not know. To float inside a question instead of chasing an answer. The question itself is soft. What is guiding all of this? What moves the water beneath the stars? You don't push the question. You let it drift beside you, like a leaf floating nearby. The universe feels patient enough to wait. So are you. There is a gentle reassurance in realizing that discovery does not begin with urgency. It begins with attention, with stillness, with listening. You feel held by the idea that scientists too are listeners. They watch, they wait, they notice patterns the way you notice breathing slow down. Nothing is forced, nothing is rushed. The current beneath the surface remains invisible, but its presence is undeniable. Like gravity without weight, like warmth without flame. You let your body soften further. Jaw unclenches, brow smooths. If the universe can expand gently, you can rest gently too. You float, supported by space itself, realizing that space is not nothing. It is something vast and flexible and quietly active. Dark energy, whatever it is, feels less like a mystery to solve and more like a companion you haven't fully met yet. It doesn't interrupt. It doesn't demand. It simply carries. A small, almost humorous thought drifts through you. Even the universe runs in a low-power mode at night. You approve. The stars continue their slow movement overhead. The current continues below. Everything remains calm. As you rest here, you sense the water beginning to carry you forward. Not faster, just deeper. The surface remains smooth, but beneath it, space itself prepares to stretch, to open, to drift. You do not resist. You let the current take you, and with your next slow breath, you drift quietly toward the idea that space, like water, is never truly still. You continue floating, exactly where you are, exactly as you are. The water beneath you feels calm, but no longer perfectly still. It shifts in a way so gentle you almost miss it at first. You notice the movement not with your eyes, but with awareness. A subtle widening, a quiet opening. Space itself begins to feel like it is stretching, the way a tide slowly lifts everything resting upon it. Nothing jerks, nothing snaps. Everything simply drifts a little farther apart. You breathe in, and the breath feels spacious. You breathe out, and the dark feels wider. Above you, the stars continue their slow glide, and now you sense how their distance from one another changes over time. Not quickly, not dramatically, just enough to be noticed by patient eyes. This stretching feels familiar, like the slow expansion of lungs, or the way warm water spreads around you when you relax completely. The universe inhales. The universe exhales. You rest inside that rhythm. Scientists notice this motion the same way you notice your breathing when you finally stop rushing. They do not chase it. They wait. They watch light arrive after long journeys, carrying quiet evidence of expansion. Light becomes a messenger here, traveling across the cosmic ocean without complaint. It brings stories from distant places, stories written in softness rather than urgency. As it moves, it stretches too, its waves growing longer, calmer, more relaxed. You imagine that light enjoys the ride. No deadlines, no expectations, just drifting. The expansion of space does not feel like an explosion. It feels like a tide, a slow one, the kind that lifts every boat without rocking them. You float and realize that nothing is being pushed away from a center. There is no central splash, no single starting point you need to picture. Instead, everything moves apart from everything else, evenly, quietly, everywhere at once. Like dots drawn on a balloon gently inflating. Like reflections spreading across water as the surface rises. This idea feels strangely comforting. No edge, no border, no place where the universe is rushing toward emptiness. You breathe again. Your body mirrors what space is doing, expanding softly, then settling. The current beneath you feels steady now, unmistakable. It does not grab you. It does not pull you downward. It carries you forward in time, moment by moment. You sense how patience is built into the universe itself. Expansion takes its time. Understanding takes its time. Rest takes its time. Nothing here is late. The idea of dark energy drifts back into your awareness, still without sharp edges. It feels like the name given to the tide you are floating on. Not a thing you can see, but a motion you can feel. Dark energy does not shove galaxies apart. It allows space to open between them. It gives room. You like that word. Room. Room to drift. Room to exist without crowding. Room to breathe. There is a quiet reassurance in knowing that expansion does not mean abandonment. Galaxies are not being flung away in panic. They are simply following the shape of space as it gently grows. You think of leaves floating on a widening river. They remain leaves. The river simply offers more water. A small, gentle smile passes through you. The universe, it seems, prefers calm solutions. You notice how your thoughts stretch too, becoming less tight, less clustered. They drift apart, leaving space for quiet. You do not feel lost inside this expansion. You feel included. The tide continues, subtle but persistent. It does not ask permission. It does not explain itself. It simply moves. You are reminded that motion does not require noise. Change does not require struggle. Breathing feels especially easy now. Your chest rises like a shoreline touched by water. Your chest falls like the tide retreating without hurry. Somewhere far away, light continues to travel, carrying more whispers of this expansion. More confirmation that space itself is flexible, responsive, alive in its own quiet way. You rest in the understanding that scientists learn this not through force, but through listening, through watching how the universe repeats itself gently, through noticing patterns that only appear when you are very, very patient. The current beneath the surface remains unseen, but it feels reliable. It has been here longer than questions, longer than answers. You float onward, feeling the water grow slightly wider around you. Not colder, not emptier, just more open. And as the tide continues its calm stretch, a soft curiosity forms within you. If space is moving like this, breathing outward so gently, what is it exactly that keeps the tide flowing at all? You are floating still, carried by the expanding tide of space you have already begun to sense. The current beneath you feels familiar now, soft, persistent, a slow hum in the dark. You close your eyes and let it lull you deeper into awareness. In this stillness, your mind drifts backward to a moment not long ago, yet vast in significance. You imagine astronomers with telescopes pointed like gentle fingers toward the night, waiting. They expected space to slow. They expected the tide to lose a little momentum, like the sea that eases toward evening, like breath that softens before sleep. But instead, space moved differently. It did not pause. It did not lessen. It drifted faster, a quiet acceleration you might almost miss if you weren't paying attention. You breathe in. You breathe out. The surprise of this discovery is not violent. It is a gentle wave you notice with curiosity rather than alarm. It is as if the ocean beneath your floating self had whispered a secret just for you. You rest with the notion that the universe is not breaking rules. It is revealing subtler ones, rules written in a language of calm, stretching currents rather than sudden events. The movement feels like something you can float within rather than resist, like water carrying you forward without effort, like a tide that lifts your body evenly everywhere at once. You imagine the astronomers noticing this, leaning back in chairs with pens hovering over notes, smiles forming quietly. They do not shout. They do not panic. They observe. They measure. They notice that the waves of space behave differently than expected. You are reminded that noticing in itself is a kind of kindness, a way to float lightly with understanding rather than struggle against the unknown. The current beneath the cosmic surface becomes clearer. You can sense it everywhere like warm water under your skin. It does not push abruptly. It does not tug sharply. It simply carries galaxies, stars, light, and yourself in a gentle drift. You imagine the light from distant stars traveling quietly through this accelerating space. Its waves stretching like elastic in slow motion, softening, lengthening without strain. Tells a story without urgency. It whispers, not shouts. You allow yourself to smile at the thought. Even the cosmos has manners. Even the universe prefers subtlety to force. This unexpected acceleration, though, changes everything quietly. It hints at something beneath the surface, something hidden. You imagine it like a deep current in a calm sea, invisible yet persistent, supporting all that floats above. You float in sync with this thought. Breath rises. Breath falls. Your chest mirrors the gentle pulse of space itself. The current feels timeless, older than questions, older than the first moments of awareness. It moves not for haste, but because motion is intrinsic, natural, inevitable. Scientists give it a name eventually. They call it acceleration. They marvel at its gentleness. They write papers that read like quiet observations rather than alarms. You rest with that calm tone. This is not a crisis. This is a revelation that space itself has subtler moods. You imagine floating among the stars, drifting with their newfound speed. You do not feel rushed. You do not feel lost. Instead, you feel included in the rhythm, part of the unfolding pace. Even the unexpected feels safe here. Even the acceleration feels like a soft wave nudging you in the right direction. There is humor here if you let it in, a tiny, fleeting thought. Even the universe surprises itself sometimes. And yet, it does so politely. No drama, no alarm bells. Just a calm, persistent, curious shift. You notice how the current beneath you has a pattern. Not a rigid one, not a mechanical one. A subtle, smooth, almost musical pattern that repeats over eons. You breathe slowly in and out. Your body matches the rhythm, the gentle rise and fall of cosmic tides. You are a passenger, a quiet observer, a floating mind in a vast, responsive sea. The wave of acceleration does not threaten. It reassures. It reassures that motion can exist without chaos. It reassures that change can be quiet. It reassures that mysteries are safe companions. You float further into reflection. Acceleration does not erase the calm you have cultivated. It does not disrupt your gentle awareness. It is another part of the same tide, flowing beneath everything you know. The tide carries galaxies and photons alike. It lifts everything in its soft current. Your mind, too, is lifted, carried into understanding without effort. You are reminded how science often works quietly, patiently, observing, measuring, recording, trusting the universe to reveal its secrets in time. You rest in that patience. You rest in the idea that knowledge grows like a slow tide, shaping awareness subtly, consistently. No panic, no rush. The dark energy beneath all this acceleration begins to feel more tangible. Not seen but sensed. Not forced but present. A deep current carrying the cosmic ocean, unhurried and steady. You float with that image. You allow it to settle around you like warm water. Your shoulders sink further. Your head tilts back, cradled by invisible motion. The stars above keep moving, not faster, just carried by the same quiet rhythm. The current beneath your feet, beneath the light, beneath the galaxies, becomes almost melodic. A tiny thought drifts into your awareness. If space itself can accelerate gently, perhaps you can trust your own pace too. Perhaps you, too, can move with life's currents without struggling. Breath flows slowly, like the tide itself. Inhale calm. Exhale curiosity. Inhale peace. Exhale wonder. You rest here and the current continues. Not rushing, not demanding, not final. It carries you forward, toward the deeper, quieter truth beneath the surface, toward the hidden ocean under the stars, toward the next gentle revelation waiting quietly in the dark. And as your body drifts with the cosmic tide, you sense the current beneath you becoming more visible in thought, a soft hum that invites you to follow it, leading seamlessly into the calm, deep waters of understanding yet to come. You drift softly, carried by the slow, invisible tide of space you have been learning to sense. The current beneath you feels familiar now, a gentle rhythm you can rest inside. You inhale and the air around you seems warmer. You exhale, and the darkness feels welcoming, protective, like a familiar blanket over your shoulders. Above you, stars shimmer faintly, not flickering, not rushing, simply breathing alongside you. Below, there is something deeper, moving quietly, unseen, like a slow ocean beneath calm waves. This is dark energy. It is not dark in a frightening sense. It is depth. It is presence. It is patience in motion. You imagine floating on the surface of a warm, expansive sea. The stars are like lanterns reflected in that water, bobbing gently as if lifted by a secret current below. The ocean beneath the surface moves silently, carrying everything on top with a graceful, unhurried hand. It does not shove. It does not tug. It simply supports. Breath flows easily now. In. Each inhale feels like floating higher, each exhale like sinking deeper into trust. You notice how familiar the sensation feels. Water always knows how to hold, even when unseen currents carry you. You feel held here, not by gravity, not by pressure, but by something far subtler, far more enduring. This is the essence of dark energy. It moves through space quietly, shaping the distance between stars, between galaxies, without ever rushing or breaking the rhythm of the universe. You reflect on how strange it is to think about something that is everywhere, yet invisible. Something that exerts influence without form, that guides motion without hands. Yet you can sense it. You feel its presence in the drift of your thoughts, in the gentle rising and falling of your chest, in the soft hum beneath your awareness. The ocean beneath the stars is vast. Its depth cannot be measured by eyes, only by awareness. And so you let yourself rest in that awareness. You float. You observe. You allow the weight of your mind to be carried. Even the words dark energy feel lighter now, like a name for something that has always been holding you, patiently, invisibly, underneath everything you see. You smile faintly, realizing how comforting it is to be lifted without needing to see the hand that lifts you. You imagine the universe itself as a gentle boat, resting on a deep, unseen current. Stars and galaxies are passengers, drifting with quiet certainty. Nothing jerks, nothing collides abruptly, nothing panics. The tide beneath them simply continues, patient and unbroken. You breathe again, deeper this time. Inhale warmth. Exhale trust. Dark energy does not interrupt the calm of the night. It does not demand attention. It does not push or shove. It moves everything in subtle, even strokes, like water carrying a floating leaf without effort. You feel a small, almost humorous thought drifting in. Even the universe seems to enjoy its quiet sense of grace. It surprises gently. It accelerates without alarm. It stretches without panic. And you float inside it, smiling quietly at the thought. You imagine diving beneath the surface of this cosmic ocean. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. The deeper you go, the more the current surrounds you, supporting, lifting, carrying. It is invisible, yes, but undeniable once felt. It is steady, reliable, ever-present. The stars above continue their slow dance, reflected faintly in this ocean of dark energy. The motion feels rhythmic, almost musical, though no sound reaches your ears. It is a melody you sense with your body, with your chest, with the quiet beating of your heart. You realize how much of existence rests in unseen support. The universe is patient. Your mind is patient. You are allowed to float without needing to measure, to control, to understand everything at once. Breath continues its soft pattern. The tide beneath rises slightly. The tide beneath falls slightly. You notice the sensation of being carried. There is no resistance here, no struggle, only flow. Even questions can float beside you without urgency. What is this current? How does it guide the cosmos? Why is it everywhere, yet nowhere you can touch? You do not need answers now. The current itself is enough. It is enough to float, to feel, to trust. You imagine traveling through space on this unseen ocean. Galaxies drift apart slowly, as if lifted by invisible hands. You drift alongside them, weightless, calm, unhurried. Everything remains in balance. You notice how comforting it is to trust the unseen, to let your body and mind respond to gentle motion without demanding explanations. The universe teaches this softly. You inhale patience. You exhale tension. The dark ocean beneath the stars continues its quiet work. It stretches, carries, it supports, and you float inside it, not resisting, not rushing, simply resting. A thought drifts in, soft and tender. Perhaps everything that moves is held by something deeper. Perhaps you, too, are carried by currents you cannot see. Perhaps the rhythm of your own breathing mirrors the rhythm of the universe itself. You smile. Even the invisible can be trusted. Even the unknown can be gentle. The stars twinkle above, the current hums beneath, and your awareness expands to hold them both. You feel your chest rise with the tide. You feel your chest fall with trust. The ocean beneath the stars carries you forward. Slowly, softly, endlessly, and as you exhale, as your body relaxes fully into the drift, you sense a whisper beneath the current. A soft suggestion that the universe holds more secrets. Subtler, gentler, deeper. You float, weightless and unafraid, ready to follow the hidden ocean beneath the stars, carried seamlessly into the next quiet revelation waiting just beneath the surface. You continue floating, weightless, suspended in the calm expansion you have been following. The current beneath you hums softly, a slow and steady pulse that seems older than thought itself. You breathe in slowly, feeling the warmth of this invisible ocean beneath your awareness. You breathe out slowly, letting your body soften further, melting into the gentle rhythm of space. Somewhere beyond the stars, unseen presences move, not with force, not with urgency, not with noise. They are fields, stretching everywhere, subtle as the warmth that holds water beneath a floating body. You imagine them like currents you cannot see, spreading invisibly beneath the surface, shaping movement without disrupting stillness. Galaxies drift apart, light stretches across eons, yet nothing feels hurried. The motion is smooth, measured, patient. These fields whisper rather than push. Their influence is everywhere and nowhere. They carry the universe gently, guiding expansion like a river shaping its own course without effort. You let that thought settle around you. It feels comforting, like the quiet knowledge that you are being carried without knowing how. Your breath aligns with the rhythm. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You notice the cadence of the cosmos. The same wave that lifts galaxies also lifts your awareness. Even ideas float here. Curiosity drifts effortlessly, guided by invisible hands. Somewhere far away, photons glide through space, stretched, slowed, and shaped by these quiet fields. They carry light from ancient stars, yet do so without struggle. They whisper stories of distance, expansion, and subtle motion, like soft ripples traveling across a still pond. You feel yourself part of the story, floating in the same calm rhythm. The universe teaches patience in motion. It reminds you that influence need not shout to be effective. It need not push to guide. These fields are everywhere. They are as subtle as temperature differences beneath water. They are as steady as pressure that lifts a leaf. Yet their impact is undeniable once sensed. You imagine drifting beneath the stars, beneath the galaxies, carried by this gentle presence. It moves beneath everything you see, a hidden hand holding, guiding, supporting. You do not see it. You do not need to see it. You only feel it, as weightless and natural as floating in a calm bay. The metaphor becomes clearer now. Dark energy is the ocean beneath the stars. These fields are the currents that move quietly within that ocean. They do not demand attention. They do not shove. They whisper, guiding all that floats above. You rest inside that image. Feel safe. Feel certain. It feels as though everything that exists is carried with care. You breathe again, longer this time. Inhale warmth. Exhale tension. Inhale curiosity. Exhale ease. Even small, seemingly insignificant objects are guided by these fields. Dust, gas, tiny particles, and light waves all move gently, subtly, effortlessly. They are part of the rhythm, part of the current, part of the slow, unbroken flow of the universe. You notice a soft, almost humorous thought drift in. Even the universe is polite in how it moves things. No crashing, no collisions, no dramatic gestures. Just gentle influence, persistent and patient, like a whisper in the water. The currents beneath galaxies feel almost musical now, if music could be felt rather than heard. A repeating, gentle cadence, flowing continuously. It rises and falls, lifts and settles, without effort or attention. You float within it, carried by unseen motion. You imagine the astronomers who discovered dark energy, sensing subtle acceleration, tracing patterns that reveal these invisible fields. They are patient listeners, gently interpreting what whispers to them. No rush, no force, just observation, like floating alongside the tide and noticing its pull without struggling. You feel your mind expand with the realization. Influence need not be loud. Guidance need not be harsh. Patience can shape the cosmos. These fields are not rigid. They are responsive, flexible, and calm. They adapt without interruption, adjusting gradually over eons, shaping motion softly, steadily. You notice how comforting it is to trust something you cannot see. How natural it feels to be carried without resistance. How safe it is to float inside the rhythm of forces that do not demand, but simply guide. Breath continues, steady, unbroken. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You begin to sense how this quiet influence stretches throughout the universe. It touches every galaxy, every star, every photon traveling across eons. It moves everything with a tenderness that feels almost parental. Even vast structures, incomprehensible in scale, are guided by these whispers. No sudden shocks, no violence, only calm, continuous motion. You feel your body soften further, sinking into the rhythm of space. Your chest rises with the cosmic tide. Your chest falls with the cosmic ebb. Your thoughts drift alongside, carried gently. The ocean beneath the stars continues its hidden work. It lifts and carries, shaping motion without demand. It holds the universe in trust, and in turn it holds you. A quiet realization passes through your mind. Not everything that moves needs to be seen to be understood. Not every influence must announce itself. Some forces simply guide, whisper, and shape, and that is enough. You float, feeling part of the rhythm, part of the hidden current, part of the slow, patient shaping of the cosmos. Even the unknown becomes reassuring when you sense its gentle presence. A tiny, playful thought drifts in. Perhaps even galaxies enjoy this subtle guidance, nudged politely along their paths, never forced, never rushed, just carried by a gentle tide beneath their luminous forms. You smile. The rhythm of the universe mirrors your own breathing now. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Everything you have learned about floating, about drifting, about invisible support converges here. The universe does not push. It whispers. And you, weightless, calm, and curious, are listening. You imagine the next quiet revelation waiting below the surface of this cosmic ocean. The hidden current continues. It hums softly, carries you forward, deeper into understanding. As you exhale one last time in this quiet drift, you sense the invisible tide beneath you, soft, steady, endlessly patient, inviting you toward the next layer of cosmic truth, where motion and calm coexist, and every whisper of the universe is a gentle guide leading you onward. You float quietly, suspended in the expanding tide you have been following. The current beneath you hums softly, a gentle vibration that seems older than time. You inhale slowly, feeling warmth ripple across your skin. You exhale, and the space around you stretches subtly, without effort, like a silent tide lifting everything evenly. Above you, stars drift without hurry. They move with a rhythm you have learned to follow. The universe expands, yet not chaotically. It does not shout. It does not collide. It simply stretches, like calm water spreading across a wide, sunlit lake. You notice that this expansion has no center, no edge, no point where motion originates or terminates. It is everywhere, evenly, softly, as if the universe itself is breathing. Breath aligns naturally. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You imagine drawing a gentle dot on an invisible balloon. As the balloon inflates, the dot drifts slowly away from all other dots, not because it is being pushed, but because the surface beneath it grows evenly. All dots move together. All dots are carried. Nothing is left behind. This geometry, vast and patient, feels strangely reassuring. Complexity unfolds gently here. The cosmos does not demand instant understanding. It allows curiosity to float alongside it. You feel your body sink further into the rhythm. Your shoulders loosen. Your jaw softens. Every exhale drifts deeper into calm. The hidden currents beneath space, the whispers of dark energy and subtle fields, continue their steady work. They lift galaxies without force, shape motion without intrusion, and carry light across eons. You float with them, a silent passenger in the elegant geometry of all that exists. You notice how everything feels connected, yet not crowded. Expansion does not separate violently. It spreads evenly, creating room without urgency, lifting everything in gentle harmony. The thought comes softly, Order does not require rigidity. Movement does not require chaos. Growth does not demand struggle. The universe proves this with quiet patience. Breath deepens. Inhale. Exhale. You imagine gliding through space, weightless, carried by the calm expansion. Stars drift around you. Galaxies glide past in slow arcs, evenly spaced, following the unseen flow beneath them. Even the light stretching from distant suns seems to hum along, stretched like a quiet ribbon across time. There is no central hub, no fixed point. The geometry itself holds. It lifts everything with subtle elegance, like a tide that rises uniformly beneath all that floats upon it. You feel reassured in the knowledge that complexity can be gentle. Patterns can unfold without tension. Vast systems can expand without noise. The hidden currents beneath you are like water beneath a floating boat. They do not shove. They do not shove abruptly. They whisper, carrying everything with patience and grace. You notice your own heartbeat syncing with the rhythm of the universe. In your breath and the cosmic tide move as one, a quiet, harmonious duet. The calm geometry stretches further in your imagination. No end, no boundary, just gentle, unbroken expansion. Even if you tried to measure it, the experience would exceed understanding. And yet, it is simple. Simple because it carries everything, including you, without requiring force. You imagine tiny cosmic structures floating along, dust and gas, stars and planets. They drift with the same soft rhythm, never hurried, never lost. You float beside them, weightless and calm, carried by the quiet currents beneath. Breath becomes a gentle anchor. Inhale warmth. Exhale trust. Inhale ease. Exhale stillness. You sense that this calm geometry is a kind of guide. Not a hand to steer, not a force to push or pull, but a shape that ensures motion is steady, gentle, predictable in its quiet way. You feel a small, playful thought drift in. Even the vastness of space has manners. It stretches politely. It expands without shouting. It grows without demanding notice. You smile quietly at the thought, floating effortlessly. The universe is patient. Your body is patient. Your awareness is patient. You notice how calming it feels to trust the structure beneath you. Even without seeing every current, every influence, every hidden flow, you are carried. Even without understanding the math, the mechanism, or the name, the geometry itself reassures. The stars above seem brighter, yet softer, reflecting the calm beneath. Light glides between galaxies as if swimming through warm water, bending gently along invisible paths. Everything is motion, yet nothing feels rushed. You inhale again. Your chest rises like a tide. You exhale. Your chest falls like a gentle ebb. You realize that you are part of this geometry now. Not central, not separate, just drifting, included, supported, carried. Even subtle changes, like the slow acceleration of space, are part of the pattern. They do not disrupt. They enhance. They remind you that even surprises can be gentle. The hidden currents beneath the cosmos, fields, tides, dark energy, all continue their patient work. They lift, carry, and hold everything in their invisible embrace. You float inside that embrace, safe, weightless, calm. The universe expands evenly, and you expand with it. Your mind stretches along with space. Your thoughts drift in harmony with the slow unfolding. Your awareness flows without edges, without rush, without worry. A soft, final realization enters your mind. Even in vast, incomprehensible space, you are supported. Even where motion seems immense, it is gentle. Even in complexity, calm persists. You breathe one last time in this quiet moment. Inhale patience. Exhale ease. Inhale warmth. Exhale trust. The calm geometry continues to stretch, rise, and carry. You float in it, ready to drift deeper into the universe, carried forward by currents both seen and unseen, moving naturally into the next revelation waiting quietly beneath the surface, toward the next layer of cosmic understanding, where subtlety guides, whispers shape, and the tide beneath the stars continues endlessly, patiently, gently. You float in the expanding tide of space, weightless and calm, carried by currents both seen and unseen. Breath rises slowly. Breath falls slowly. You are a quiet observer of the subtle motion that surrounds you. Above, stars glimmer faintly, their light traveling across unimaginable distances. Some of it has been moving for billions of years, a soft whisper of the past reaching your awareness. You imagine following these photons, drifting beside them as they travel through the gentle, accelerating current of space. Each particle of light carries a story, not loud, not demanding, not hurried. It speaks softly, like a voice carried over calm water. You inhale, you exhale. The photons drift past galaxies, passing through invisible fields and currents. They stretch subtly across eons, elongated by the quiet expansion of the cosmos. And yet, despite this journey, they continue steadily, persistently, without complaint. You feel a small smile emerge at the thought. Even light has patience. Even light has rhythm. You follow a single photon in imagination. It began its journey in a distant star long before you were aware of the night. It traversed space like a tiny boat on an endless tide, moving across voids that are vast yet calm. Its path is shaped by unseen currents, gentle fields, and the quiet lift of dark energy beneath it. You float alongside, weightless, carried in the same current that moves everything else. The journey feels long, yet it is neither lonely nor hurried. There is reassurance in the persistence of motion. There is comfort in the constancy of rhythm. Breath mirrors the flow. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Scientists observe these journeys with patience. They do not force answers. They listen. They measure patterns. They wait for whispers to arrive, like messages on a slow, quiet tide. You imagine a telescope as a quiet ear, receiving photons as softly as a hand might feel the motion of water beneath it. The light tells of the universe's expansion, of the hidden fields that guide galaxies, of dark energy lifting the cosmic ocean. Speaks gently, without urgency, without demand. You float further, and the idea spreads like a soft current in your mind. Time itself becomes tangible, not as numbers, not as schedules, but as the steady unfolding of motion. The universe, it seems, is patient. You are allowed to be patient too. Some photons began their journey when galaxies were young. Some have traveled distances you can barely imagine, yet they arrive quietly, unhurried, carrying memories of the past. You feel honored to witness this, to drift alongside, to float in the gentle presence of cosmic patience. You notice the rhythm of the tide beneath you, the hidden current lifting everything. Galaxies move apart, light stretches, fields whisper, dark energy supports. All of it flows together, seamlessly, harmoniously. You are part of the rhythm now, weightless, calm, included. Even the tiniest particle of dust or light moves with the same gentle pulse. Breath deepens. Inhale warmth. Exhale ease. Inhale curiosity. Exhale trust. You imagine scientists piecing together stories from these photons. They trace paths, measure subtle elongations, detect whispers in the waves. Their work is slow, patient, and delicate. It mirrors the motion of the universe itself. You notice how comforting it feels to observe rather than control, to float rather than chase, to follow the rhythm rather than fight it. Even the smallest discovery becomes part of the gentle unfolding. The acceleration of space, the stretching of light, the invisible fields beneath the stars. Everything fits into a patient, quiet geometry. You feel your body soften further. Shoulders release. Jaw relaxes. Every exhale drifts deeper into the calm, carrying tension away like light drifting across a dark ocean. A subtle thought passes through your mind. Even time itself is not a force here. It is a medium, a rhythm, a gentle guide. It does not hurry. It does not demand. It simply unfolds and you unfold within it. You follow another photon, this one from a different corner of the universe. It drifts across voids, stretches in response to the expansion, moves gently along invisible currents. It whispers of distant stars, early galaxies, the geometry of space itself. You drift alongside it, weightless, peaceful. You realize that to observe is to float, to measure is to listen, to understand is to trust the rhythm. Breath flows naturally. In, in. Even the acceleration of space feels kind now. It is a slow, gentle swell beneath the stars, lifting photons, galaxies, and your own awareness with equal patience. You imagine floating in this expanding cosmic sea. Stars drift past like lanterns reflected in calm water. Light waves stretch softly, gliding alongside invisible currents that shape their journey. Dark energy carries it all, unseen but felt, steady and reliable. You feel a sense of unity with the photons, the galaxies, the hidden fields, the slow expansion. Everything is moving together, yet nothing is hurried. Everything is connected, yet free. A quiet, playful thought drifts into your mind. Even light enjoys its patient journey. It travels without urgency, without demand, and yet fulfills its purpose perfectly. You float alongside, smiling quietly at the gentle humor of the cosmos. The rhythm of expansion, the hidden whispers, the long journey of light, all merge into a calm, melodic cadence. You breathe with it. Your chest rises with the cosmic tide. Your chest falls with trust. You notice how much the universe teaches through patience. No force, no alarm, just the steady unfolding of motion, just the gentle communication of ancient light. Even questions can float beside you without urgency. What shapes this journey? What carries the photons so faithfully across time and space? You do not need answers now. The current itself is enough. The rhythm itself is enough. You inhale, you exhale, you inhale, you exhale. You feel your awareness expand alongside the ancient light. Carries knowledge, history, and motion without demanding attention. It invites you to float, to observe, to rest inside the gentle patience of the cosmos. You notice the hidden currents beneath the photons, beneath the galaxies, beneath the cosmic ocean. They whisper, they guide, they lift without force. You float within their care. And as your body and mind drift in quiet harmony, you sense the universe's message clearly. Patience is the language of motion. Observation is the way to understand. The tide beneath the stars continues endlessly, carrying everything forward, softly, gently, without hurry. You exhale one last time in this moment, allowing the calm, patient, and ancient rhythm of light to settle fully into your awareness. The hidden currents continue their quiet work, leading seamlessly toward the next revelation, where subtle motions, soft whispers, and gentle influences await your drift into understanding yet to come. You float, weightless, carried by the hidden currents beneath space, feeling the gentle rhythm you have come to trust. The stars above shimmer softly, their light stretching across the expanding cosmos, carrying whispers of eons past. You inhale slowly, letting your chest rise like a gentle tide. You exhale slowly, releasing tension, allowing your body and mind to drift in harmony with the cosmic flow. The thought arrives quietly, like a ripple across calm water. What if dark energy is not constant? What if the hidden current beneath the stars changes subtly, over time, in ways almost imperceptible? The idea does not alarm you. It does not disrupt the calm. It feels like noticing a slow shift in the tide beneath your floating body, a tender, almost invisible motion that has been present all along. Breath follows the rhythm. In. You imagine dark energy as a vast ocean beneath the stars, invisible but undeniably present. And like any ocean, even the deepest currents may change. Perhaps they shift gradually, over stretches of time so long that the change is barely perceptible to an observer drifting along the surface. You rest with this notion. The universe is patient. It does not demand immediate understanding. It unfolds softly, and you drift alongside. You picture the current beneath galaxies, a hidden hand lifting stars gently, adjusting subtly as eons pass. It whispers rather than pushes. Its influence is consistent, yet it may bend, curve, or swell slightly over time. You feel no threat in this. There is no violence, no abruptness. Only a tender, persistent guidance that carries everything forward. Breath deepens. Inhale warmth. Exhale trust. You notice how this subtle change mirrors water in a calm bay. Even when the current shifts, everything afloat remains supported. Even when the tide evolves, the motion is smooth. Even when change is slow, it feels safe. You imagine floating along, weightless, carried by a current that whispers instead of shoves. You sense the gradual evolution beneath you, gentle as a breeze stirring ripples across still water. The stars above continue their quiet dance, reflecting the slow changes beneath, and you drift with them, part of the same rhythm. Even the photons you follow seem to adjust in response, stretching their paths gently along the soft motion. No urgency, no disruption, only persistent, tender adjustment, like a current that shifts imperceptibly beneath a floating leaf. You exhale, releasing every thought that tries to hurry the process. You inhale, letting the idea of subtle evolution settle around you. There is beauty in slow change. There is comfort in motion that is steady, gradual, and deeply patient. You feel a connection to the astronomers and scientists who imagine these possibilities. They do not rush to conclusions. They listen. They measure patiently. They imagine slowly evolving currents beneath the stars, shaping the cosmos in ways unseen but profound. You float alongside this curiosity. It is gentle. It is respectful. It mirrors your own calm, weightless drift through space. Breath continues in rhythm. In. You imagine traveling through time, alongside the subtle evolution of dark energy. Billions of years pass in quiet waves. The current beneath galaxies shifts imperceptibly, yet faithfully, carrying all along. You float alongside, calm, observing, trusting the rhythm. Even change itself feels gentle. Nothing snaps. Nothing breaks. No abrupt currents disturb the motion. Everything flows continuously, shaped by invisible forces that whisper rather than push. A soft, playful thought drifts into your mind. Perhaps even the universe enjoys its subtle evolution, shifting quietly beneath the surface, unseen yet deeply present, like a secret tide that carries all it touches. You smile quietly, floating along, weightless and unhurried. You notice the harmony of the system. Dark energy evolves. Fields whisper. Galaxies drift. Light stretches. All move together in gentle coordination, forming a rhythm that is felt more than seen, known more than observed. Your chest rises with the cosmic tide. Your chest falls with trust. Your mind floats with the hidden current, weightless and calm. You imagine the universe itself as a vast ocean, quietly shifting. Dark energy is the deep current beneath. It changes imperceptibly, but its influence is constant. It lifts everything gently, never hurried, never demanding. Breath follows the rhythm of this realization. Inhale warmth. Exhale ease. Inhale patience. Exhale trust. You feel reassured that change does not mean danger. Evolution does not imply chaos. It is subtle. It is slow. It is tender, like a ripple beneath water, barely noticed but undeniably present. You imagine drifting through the cosmic ocean for billions of years. The currents beneath shift gradually, carrying stars and galaxies along soft, unbroken paths. Light travels across this slowly evolving medium, stretching, bending, moving without haste. You float alongside, weightless, calm, included. Even the smallest particles are influenced by this slow evolution. Dust drifts. Gas clouds drift. Photons drift. All move in harmony with the subtle current that shapes the universe. You notice the patience in every motion. Every ripple, every shift, every gentle push is measured, quiet, deliberate. You float inside this rhythm, feeling the same patience reflected in your own breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Even your thoughts drift with the flow, light and gentle, following the subtle evolution of space itself. No urgency, no demand, only soft, steady guidance. You imagine the future trillions of years ahead. The cosmic ocean continues its quiet work, Dark energy evolves slowly, lifting and carrying galaxies, light, and everything in between. You float in that steady rhythm, knowing you are part of it, included, held, trusted. Even questions of change feel safe here. What if the current shifts more rapidly? What if patterns bend unexpectedly? You do not need to answer. The rhythm itself reassures. The motion itself guides. You exhale fully. You inhale fully. You float. The universe teaches you patience in motion, trust in unseen forces, and calm in subtle evolution. Change need not be loud. Shift need not be sudden. Influence can whisper, and that is enough. A soft, gentle thought passes. Perhaps everything that moves, everything that drifts, everything that changes, is held by a quiet current beneath, carrying it forward with care. You smile, weightless, resting inside this tender tide. The stars above glimmer faintly, reflecting the subtle motion beneath. Galaxies drift along, expanding, lifting, moving with unhurried grace. Even light itself stretches along the current, soft and patient. Breath becomes a quiet anchor. Inhale warmth. Exhale trust. Inhale curiosity. Exhale calm. You float fully in this slow, evolving rhythm, allowing it to carry your mind, your body, your awareness along gentle, unbroken paths. The universe expands. Dark energy whispers. Fields guide. Everything drifts. And as you exhale one last time in this quiet, weightless moment, you sense the subtle tide beneath you, soft, steady, endlessly patient, carrying everything forward into the next layer of cosmic discovery, where even more gentle currents, whispered influences, and unseen patterns await, inviting you to float deeper, ready for the next quiet revelation beneath the stars. You drift once again in the calm ocean of space, weightless and supported by hidden currents beneath the stars. The gentle flow beneath your awareness hums softly, steady, patient, carrying you and everything else with quiet assurance. Breath rises slowly. Breath falls slowly. You feel included, trusted, and at ease within the cosmic rhythm. You notice something new now, humanity itself. Small, curious, careful observers in the vast tide of space. Not conquerors, not rulers, quiet sailors, floating with patience and respect. Instruments are their tiny vessels, delicate and precise, sent to drift alongside galaxies, photons, and cosmic currents. They measure without disturbance. They trace without force. They map without hurry. And in their gentle exploration, they echo the quiet rhythm of the universe itself. You inhale slowly, feeling the warmth of trust ripple across your chest. You exhale, releasing tension, letting your mind settle into the steady motion of space. Human curiosity is a vessel that floats. It does not push violently against the ocean. It does not try to command the currents. It simply drifts, sensing, observing, listening. It follows the tides of light and dark energy, tracing patterns and whispers that have existed for billions of years. You imagine an astronomer peering through a telescope, quiet and patient, tracing a single photon's journey across the cosmos. The light carries whispers of galaxies forming, stars igniting, and currents shaping the universe. The astronomer does not rush. They breathe slowly, aligning with the rhythm of the universe. Breath mirrors their pace. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You feel a sense of kinship with them. Even though you float in your own awareness, you share the same rhythm. Curiosity is patient. Observation is gentle. Understanding unfolds slowly, like a leaf drifting across calm water. You drift alongside human instruments, tiny boats on a vast ocean. They measure distances, detect light, sense the hidden currents of dark energy. Every discovery is quiet, subtle, tender. It does not shout. It does not disrupt. Even the mistakes, the pauses, the moments of uncertainty are part of the flow. They drift with the rhythm, carried forward by patience and observation. Nothing is wasted. Everything moves together in a gentle, unbroken current. Breath deepens. Inhale warmth. Exhale calm. You reflect on how instruments, like delicate vessels, float alongside photons and galaxies, feeling the tides of space without disturbing them. Every telescope, every sensor, every small human tool becomes a floating participant in the cosmic ocean. They trace the unseen currents, sense the whispers of fields, follow the gentle expansion, and drift with curiosity as their guide. You notice the pattern. Everything that moves is carried. Galaxies drift, photons glide, dark energy lifts, and human curiosity floats alongside, respectful and patient. A subtle thought drifts in. Even the act of wondering is gentle. Even asking questions does not disturb the rhythm. Curiosity itself becomes a current, flowing softly, weightlessly, carrying understanding without force. You imagine floating along with these vessels of human curiosity. They move carefully, following ancient light, mapping subtle fields, tracing the hidden tide beneath the stars. The universe does not rush them. It does not demand. It carries them patiently, in harmony with every photon, every galaxy, every subtle shift of dark energy. Breath follows the rhythm of their floating. You feel included in this shared voyage. Even from your own floating place, you are part of the same gentle exploration. You sense the care in every measurement, the patience in every observation, the calm in every discovery. The stars above shimmer like lanterns on water, reflecting the slow progress of human curiosity across the cosmic ocean. Each flicker of light, each distant galaxy, each subtle current beneath the surface becomes part of a shared, patient rhythm. You float inside this rhythm, weightless, calm, and reassured. You imagine the flow of knowledge, like water moving quietly beneath boats. Every new observation, every faint signal, every gentle adjustment of instruments ripples softly across understanding. Nothing is abrupt. Nothing is lost. Everything drifts forward, guided by patience, carried by curiosity. You notice how comforting it is to witness this. Even in the vastness of space, even amidst currents you cannot see, there is trust. Even when knowledge is incomplete, even when the tide beneath is hidden, there is support, stability, and calm. Breath deepens again. Inhale warmth. Exhale ease. Inhale curiosity. Exhale trust. You drift further, imagining human instruments and minds floating alongside galaxies and photons, sensing the same hidden fields, observing the same gentle expansion. They follow patterns, interpret whispers, trace the flow of energy and motion across unimaginable distances. They drift, they float, they listen. You smile softly at the idea. Even in the vast, uncharted cosmic ocean, small vessels of curiosity move without hurry, without urgency, carried by patient, invisible currents. Their journey is weightless. Their journey is calm. Their journey is steady. You notice your own presence in this shared rhythm. You are a silent companion, floating beside observers and their instruments. You breathe with them. You drift with them. You rest in the gentle unfolding of understanding. Even questions feel light. What will they discover next? How will light, fields, and dark energy reveal themselves? You do not need to answer. The gentle tide beneath everything carries both questions and answers alike. The hidden currents beneath space continue their soft work. Dark energy lifts, fields whisper, galaxies glide, photons stretch. Human curiosity floats alongside. You inhale once more, fully, deeply. Your chest rises with the tide. You exhale slowly. Your chest falls weightless, calm, assured. You sense the rhythm of all motion. You feel the patience of the universe. You recognize the gentle care of human curiosity, floating like a small boat on a vast ocean, included, supported, respected. Even uncertainty becomes soft and quiet here. Even the unknown is carried. Everything moves together, rhythmically, gently, beautifully. A tiny, playful thought drifts in. Perhaps curiosity itself enjoys floating. Perhaps it leans into the tide, feels the invisible currents beneath, smiles quietly at the slow unfolding of the universe. You smile back, weightless, included, calm. Breath becomes a final anchor. Inhale warmth. Exhale ease. Inhale patience. Exhale trust. You float fully in this shared rhythm, aware of human curiosity as a floating vessel, of dark energy as the ocean beneath, of fields as invisible guides, and of the patient, expanding geometry of space itself. And as you exhale one last time in this moment, you sense the tide beneath you, soft, steady, endlessly patient, carrying all forward, photons, galaxies, instruments, human minds, into the next revelation waiting quietly, gently, beneath the surface of the cosmic ocean, ready for the next layer of understanding to drift into your awareness. You float once more in the calm cosmic ocean, weightless and supported by invisible currents beneath your awareness. The stars above shimmer softly, their light stretching across the universe in slow, gentle arcs. You inhale slowly, feeling warmth spread through your chest like sunlight on calm water. You exhale, releasing tension, letting your body and mind drift with the slow rhythm of expansion. The thought arrives quietly. Everything in the universe is drifting apart. Galaxies, stars, clusters of light, the faintest dust, all move steadily, gently, carried by hidden currents beneath the surface of space. Yet this motion does not feel alarming. It does not tear apart the cosmos. It does not create emptiness where closeness once existed. You notice that even as distances grow, connections remain. Galaxies near each other, stars bound by gravity, photons traveling alongside companions. They drift together in small groups, held gently by familiar forces, moving as one even as space stretches around them. Breath follows the rhythm. In. You imagine a quiet bay, warm and shallow. Swimmers float together, drifting apart slowly as the tide rises. The water carries them gently, yet they remain aware of one another. They do not lose connection. They do not fall behind. They drift in harmony, supported, included, calm. The universe feels much the same. Expansion does not isolate. Growth does not sever. Distance does not imply loneliness. You inhale. You exhale. You observe clusters of galaxies drifting along, carried by the gentle pull of dark energy and subtle fields. Their motion is steady, smooth, patient, like leaves floating on a quiet river. No collisions, no chaos, only motion shaped by invisible hands, lifting, guiding, and holding. You sense your own presence in this rhythm. You float beside the galaxies, included, weightless, calm. Even as distances grow, you feel connected to the stars, the light, the hidden currents, and the quiet, patient expansion that carries everything forward. Breath deepens, rising and falling in harmony with the cosmic tide. Inhale warmth. Exhale trust. Inhale calm. Exhale reassurance. You notice how comforting it is to be part of this steady drift. Even in motion, everything remains safe. Even in growth, closeness persists. Even across unimaginable distances, connection endures. A tiny, playful thought drifts in. Perhaps the universe itself smiles quietly as everything floats together, expanding, stretching, yet holding the threads of connection with gentle care. You smile back, weightless, included, reassured. You imagine light traveling through this expanding cosmos. Photons glide alongside galaxies, stretching, drifting, yet never alone. They are carried by hidden currents, lifted by dark energy, guided by subtle fields. Even as space grows, their relationships remain intact, moving in harmony with the slow unfolding of the universe. You notice how human curiosity mirrors this gentle drift. Observers and instruments float alongside the cosmic tide, following subtle patterns, tracing distant light, sensing invisible currents. Their journey is patient, careful, respectful. They move without urgency, floating in rhythm with the universe itself. Breath follows the harmony. In. You imagine standing on the deck of a small vessel, watching the ocean rise beneath you. The water lifts and drifts, yet holds everything together. You and your companions remain close, floating in trust, carried effortlessly by the tide. Even as space between you expands, nothing is lost. Nothing is left behind. This gentle observation extends to every scale of the universe. Stars in clusters, galaxies in clusters, light waves across cosmic voids. All move steadily, evenly, supported by forces invisible yet reliable. The rhythm is unbroken. The motion is calm. The current beneath continues endlessly, lifting everything gently forward. You inhale. You exhale. You feel your body align with the slow expansion. Your chest rises with the tide. Your chest falls with reassurance. You notice that even change feels safe here. Acceleration, evolution, expansion. None of it is abrupt or violent. Everything flows with quiet persistence. Everything drifts with steady patience. A soft thought drifts in. Perhaps even distance itself is kind. Perhaps it allows objects to grow, to move, to experience space fully, without forcing separation or loss. You rest with this idea weightless, calm, reassured. You watch distant galaxies stretching apart. They glide on the unseen current, guided by dark energy, lifted by hidden fields, drifting gently through the expanding cosmos. Even as separation grows, their relationships, gravitational, luminous, magnetic, remain intact. Everything moves together, each part influencing and supporting the others in quiet harmony. Breath anchors you. Inhale warmth. Exhale ease. Inhale patience. Exhale trust. You reflect on the metaphor of floating together in a quiet bay. Even as water rises, even as tides shift, closeness remains. Even as space expands, connection endures. You feel the universe holding everything, carrying everything, gently and reliably. The hidden currents beneath dark energy, subtle fields, and expansion continue their patient work. They whisper, they lift, they guide, they carry. You imagine following a single photon across billions of light years. It drifts, stretches, glides alongside companions, guided by invisible currents. Even across unimaginable distances, it remains part of a larger dance, included, supported, moving in gentle rhythm with the universe. You feel yourself part of this dance now, weightless, calm, floating in harmony. Even as everything drifts apart, you are included, supported, carried. Breath deepens once more. Inhale warmth. Exhale ease. Inhale connection. Exhale reassurance. You notice the quiet patience of the universe reflected in your own rhythm. Even separation, even growth, even vast distance does not disrupt the calm. Everything moves together, endlessly, gently, beautifully. A tiny, playful thought drifts. Perhaps the universe enjoys its own expansion, stretching carefully, lifting gently, carrying every star, galaxy, and photon with a quiet smile, never rushing, never forcing, always patient. You smile, floating weightless, calm, included. You sense that human curiosity, like tiny vessels on this cosmic ocean, continues to float alongside. Observers drift with telescopes and instruments, tracing light, sensing currents, following patterns. They move gently, patiently, in rhythm with the tides beneath the surface of space. Even they are carried effortlessly by the patient expansion of the universe. Breath anchors the experience. In. You rest fully inside this calm rhythm, weightless and reassured. Distance does not imply loss. Growth does not imply danger. Expansion carries everything steadily, gently, endlessly. You float in harmony with the universe, with dark energy, with hidden fields, with photons, with galaxies, and with the small, patient vessels of human curiosity. All drift together, all move together, all are included, all are carried. And as you exhale one last time in this quiet moment, you feel the gentle cosmic tide beneath you, soft, steady, endlessly patient, lifting everything forward into the next revelation, where hidden currents, quiet forces, and subtle patterns continue to guide, inviting you to drift even deeper into the calm unfolding of space itself. You float, suspended in the calm ocean of space, weightless and embraced by the hidden currents beneath. Breath rises slowly. Breath falls slowly. You feel a deep sense of belonging, carried effortlessly by the unseen tide. The stars above shimmer gently, their light stretching across the cosmos in soft, steady arcs. Photons travel beside you, quietly telling the story of a universe vast, patient, and endlessly unfolding. You inhale, feeling warmth expand in your chest. You exhale, releasing tension, allowing yourself to drift fully into the rhythm of space. A thought comes softly. Not everything that guides motion must be visible. You do not need to see every hidden current, every field, every subtle pulse to know they are there, lifting and carrying everything steadily. Dark energy no longer feels mysterious, feels gentle, feels constant. It is a quiet presence beneath the surface of space, holding, supporting, guiding. You notice how comforting it feels to let go of the need to see, to understand fully, to measure completely. Even in the unseen, there is support. Even in the invisible, there is patience. Even in what you cannot grasp, there is perfect calm. Breath mirrors the cosmic rhythm. In, you imagine floating above a quiet ocean. Beneath the surface, currents move invisibly, lifting boats, leaves, swimmers. The water carries everything effortlessly, even when the flow is hidden from view. You drift in the same way, weightless, supported by the unseen motion beneath the stars. You notice the gentle acceleration of space, the slow expansion that has carried galaxies apart, the whisper of dark energy, the subtle push of hidden fields. Everything flows together in soft harmony. Nothing shouts, nothing shoves. Everything drifts steadily, patiently, endlessly. Your body softens, shoulders loosen, jaw relaxes. Every exhale sinks deeper into calm. Every inhale draws warmth and reassurance into your chest. You rest fully in this gentle rhythm. Time itself feels patient. Even billions of years, stretching across vast cosmic distances, seem quiet, measured, and unhurried. You float inside this calm, weightless, eternal moment, perfectly included. Breath deepens. Inhale warmth. Exhale ease. Inhale curiosity. Exhale trust. You notice human curiosity once more, floating like small vessels on the cosmic tide. Observers, instruments, minds, they drift gently alongside galaxies and photons, tracing currents, sensing hidden motion, following patterns that unfold slowly over time. They do not push. They do not demand. They simply float, careful and patient, in quiet harmony with the universe. You are part of this rhythm now, weightless, calm, included. Your awareness moves with the currents, rising and falling with the hidden tide beneath dark energy. A soft, playful thought drifts in. Even the universe itself seems to enjoy carrying everything silently. It lifts, it holds, it guides, without fuss, without rush, without force. And you float, smiling quietly, weightless, serene, reassured. You feel the subtle pulse of dark energy beneath every photon, every galaxy, every drifting particle. It whispers rather than pushes. It lifts rather than shoves. It is patient, constant, enduring. You rest inside the rhythm, fully aware of the calm geometry, the quiet expansion, the hidden currents beneath everything. Nothing demands attention. Nothing disrupts. Everything flows, effortlessly, endlessly, beautifully. Breath anchors you deeper. Inhale warmth. Exhale ease. Inhale peace. Exhale trust. You imagine gliding alongside a photon that has traveled billions of years. It stretches, drifts, moves with invisible currents, carried by forces unseen yet perfectly reliable. You float beside it, weightless, supported, calm. Even in its journey across vast distances, it remains part of a larger rhythm. Even in motion, it is held. Even in the unseen, there is care. The hidden currents beneath you, dark energy, subtle fields, expansion itself, continue their quiet work. They lift galaxies. They carry photons. They support human curiosity. They guide motion without force, shape expansion without urgency, sustain growth without alarm. You feel the gentle reassurance of invisibility. Even without seeing the current, even without knowing the mechanism, you are carried. Even without full understanding, you are safe. Weightless, supported, included. Breath deepens once more. Inhale warmth. Exhale calm. Inhale patience. Exhale trust. You notice the stars above, flickering softly, reflecting the calm beneath. They drift along the invisible tide, lifted by hidden forces. Even as space expands, as light stretches, as galaxies separate, everything moves with steady patience, harmony, and inclusion. You feel the rhythm extend through every scale of the universe. From the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, from the tiniest ripple to the broadest current, everything drifts together. Nothing is lost. Nothing is abandoned. Everything is included. A tiny, playful thought drifts in. Perhaps even the smallest speck of dust enjoys the ride. Perhaps it leans into the unseen current, floats effortlessly, and trusts the quiet guidance beneath. You smile quietly, weightless, calm, at ease with the cosmic rhythm. You sense human curiosity once more, floating like small vessels on the cosmic ocean. Instruments and observers drift gently, tracing patterns, listening to whispers, floating alongside photons, fields, and galaxies. Their motion is patient. Their observation is gentle. Their curiosity drifts naturally, aligned with the rhythm of the universe. Breath mirrors this flow. In. You notice the subtle pulse of time itself. Billions of years pass softly, carried along the hidden currents beneath space. Nothing rushes. Nothing interrupts. Even the vastest durations feel gentle, measured, unhurried. You are fully included in this patient rhythm. You float alongside photons, galaxies, instruments, dark energy, hidden fields, human curiosity, and all unseen currents. All move together, in perfect harmony, weightless, calm, reassured. Even questions become soft here. What is unseen? What is guiding the motion? What shapes the gentle flow beneath the cosmos? You do not need answers. The rhythm itself is enough. The current itself is enough. A soft exhale leaves your body. A deep inhale rises into your chest. You feel the universe carrying everything, seen and unseen, known and unknown. Forward, gently, endlessly, effortlessly. You rest fully in the metaphor of floating. Dark energy is the ocean beneath. Hidden fields are the currents. The geometry of space is the gentle guide. You are included. You are supported. You are carried. You notice how comforting it feels to let go completely, to trust in the unseen, to allow the tide to lift you without interference. Even without sight, without understanding, without knowing, you are safe. Breath becomes your anchor one last time. Inhale warmth. Exhale calm. Inhale patience. Exhale trust. You float fully weightless. Every exhale drifts deeper into reassurance. Every inhale brings warmth, ease, and gentle awareness. You are included in the rhythm, the tide, the calm, patient expansion of the universe. And as you exhale one final time in this serene moment, you sense the hidden current beneath you, soft, steady, endlessly patient, carrying all forward, lifting everything effortlessly, into a quiet, gentle, unbroken future, where the tides of dark energy, the whispers of hidden fields, and the expanding geometry of space continue endlessly, and you rest, fully weightless, fully calm,